again to the channel. Today we are making an A-line gown, long A-line gown with inner pockets and built up collar. So if you are interested, continue watching and make sure you watch the video to the end so you understand every part of it. And before we continue, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up so that every other person can benefit from the video as well. Thank you so much. And if you are new, subscribe to join the family and turn on the notification bell for more videos. So with that being said, let's get started. So like I said, I'll be making an A-line long gown. I have 6 yards of fabric here. So the first thing is to measure out the length of my gown. So I'm going to measure out the length of my gown. Alright, so the full length of my gown is going to be 58. So I'll just measure out 58 inches. 58 inches. That's the full length of my gown. This is 58 inches. So I'm going to add extra 4 inches. So I have extra 4 inches. So I'm going to cut from there. I'll be cutting it into 2 for the front and back. So what I will simply do is to hold it there and then trace it to get the exact measurement. So can you see what I'm doing? So this is where it stopped. So I'll cut it there. So this is the amount of fabric I need for this gown. Your length, whatever length you are working with, you add 4 inches, about 4 inches to that. So I'm going to cut from here. So after cutting from there, I will locate the other side and cut from there. So we have one for the front and then one for the back. So guys, I've placed my fabric on fold into 2. So I'll be cutting the back side first. So guys, the first thing I'm going to do is to mark out my zipper allowance. So I'll mark 2 inches for my zipper allowance. Marking my zipper allowance, the next thing I'll be doing is to measure 3 inches here, and this will be my shoulder line. So from these 3 inches, I'll be using it to draft or cut out my built up collar. So from this line, I'll mark my vertical measurement. Vertical measurement is the measurement you take from shoulder downwards. From shoulder to my bust line is 10 inches. Shoulder to the waistline for me is 18 inches. Shoulder to the hip line, 25 inches. Go ahead and take your measurements to be sure. So the next will be shoulder to the length, which I have already gotten to be 58 inches, and I'll be having 1 inch extra for allowance. So guys, having done that, I'll add my shoulder divided by 2, which is 8. 16 divided by 2, 8. Then for this particular style, the neck width is 3 inches. 3 inches. Then I'll slope the shoulder by 1 inch and connect to the neck width. So you know the reason why we are slanting the shoulder, because our shoulders are not straight. So I haven't gotten my shoulder line. I'm going to add my armhole depth, which is 8. To get your armhole depth, divide your bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches to whatever you get after division. So guys, at the armhole depth over here, I'm going to add my bust circumference divided by 4 in order to draw out my armhole curve. So mine is 10 inches. 40 divided by 4, 10. Yeah, after that, the next step is to add my sewing allowance. Before adding my sewing allowance, I'll be adding ½ inch for ease. ½ inch for ease. So I add ½ inch for ease and I take my line to that point. Then I'll be adding 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. So that is that about that. At the waistline, I'll add my waist divided by 4. Mine is 36 plus ½ inch for ease, 9.5. 9.5 plus 1.5 for sewing allowance. Okay, so I'll connect from here to here. At the hip line, my hip is 43 divided by 4, 10.75 plus ½ inch for ease, 11.25. 1.5 for sewing allowance. So I'm going to connect my point. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just me. So I'm going to take the measurement I have here to the hemline. So at the hemline, I'm going to add 13.25 plus extra 6 inches for A-line flay. So I'm going to be adding 6 inches over here. The 6 inches is not constant. It is not constant. So if you like, you add extra 5 inches or 4, depending on how full you want the down area to be. Okay? So I'm going to connect my point from here to the 6 inches extra. The next step is to curve this side. So for that, I'll come up by 3 inches. 3 inches. And I'll connect to the center. So here we have a kind of curvy shape. Can you see? So that is that. So guys, for my collar, I'm going to measure 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches will be the height of my collar. So feel free to make use of the height of collar you want. You can make it 1 inch, 1.5, or even 2 inches. So I've come up by 1.5 inches over here. Remember, the neck width is 3 inches. Okay, so this is what I have. So what I'm going to do next is to come over here at this point and measure ½ inch. ½ inch like this, and connect it back to this point, which is the neck width. The reason is so that the collar will lap on the neck. It will not just stand and open up. Can you see the collar is now in a slanted form? This is so that this side will lap on the neck area, so that it won't just stand up. Okay, so that's why I have to bend it by ½ inch. Do you understand? So this is what I have. So if you like, you come down by like 0.25 inches and connect it back to this point. But I want my own like this. So what I will do next is to blend this side. I'll blend it in a curvy shape like this, and the collar is done. So the next step is to trace it to the zipper allowance. So this is it. It's as simple as that. So this is the back collar, and we are through with that. So I'm going to add my joining allowance at the shoulder and at the collar. I'll just add a little joining allowance.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave.
So guys, after cutting, this is what I have. So over here, I'm going to notch. I'll notch on the zipper allowance to serve as a guide. So guys, for the front side, I'll measure 3 inches as well. From there, I'll take my vertical measurement. So my shoulder is 8 inches. 16 divided by 2, 8. So the neck width I'm working with is 3. I'll slope the shoulder by 1. So my armhole depth is 8 inches. So there I'm going to add my bust measurement of 10 inches. Okay, and ½ inch for ease. So I'm going to take the midpoint of the armhole, which is 4. 8 divided by 2, 4. Then I'm going to come in by 0.75, which is here. 0.75, and make my armhole curve. So this is the front armhole curve.
Me high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby.
So I'm going to leave it like this. When I'm about to cut it, I'll place the back side on it and cut out. So for the front collar, I'm going to go up by 1.5 for the height of the collar. And yeah, the neck width is 3, so I'll take it up. And this is what I have. Can you see? So here I'm going to come in. I'm going to come in by ½ inch. And then reconnect back to the neck width. So this is it. So I'll place my tape here and I'll take the neck depth of my choice. So I'll mark 8 inches for the neck depth. Here I'm going to measure ½ inch. ½ inch. I want it to open by ½ inch. So what I'm going to do again is to connect from here, this point to here. But I'm going to be doing that with a curve. I'll just blend it into the ½ inch. So this is the type of neckline I want. Having done that, over here I'm going to make a very sharp curve here so that it will not be in a 4-corner shape. And yeah, this is the neckline I want for the front side. So I'm going to add my joining allowance as usual. So this is my stitching allowance, very small. If you want to use ½ inch for stitching allowance, what you need to do is just to open here straight and then connect, so that by the time you finish sewing it, you must have removed your ½ inch. Do you understand? I have the front side and the back side. This is the back side. So before I cut out a facing for this, I'm going to cut the pocket. I'm not going to make use of lining for this, but if you want to make use of lining, you're free to do so.
Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby.
So to cut the pocket, I'll just place my hand like this and trace the shape. I like positioning my hand in a slant form, not straight. So the pocket opening is 7 inches. So here we'll go with the sewing allowance I added, which is 1.5, because at the end of the day I'm going to connect it there. So this is the pocket, 4 of it. It's supposed to be 4 in number, 2 for each side. So now I'm going to cut the facing for the neckline. So for the front side, I'll place the fabric on fold. I'll place it on fold. So I'm going to measure like 2 inches or 2.5. I'll use 2.5 inches to cut it out. So for the back facing, I have 2 pieces here. I'll just place it like this. So it will be like this for this side, and then for this side it will be like this. So guys, this is the facing. I ended up making use of a collar stay so that it will give me what I want. So this is the back side. I'll go and sew the neckline, give it a notch, and then turn to the other side. So guys, this is the front side, and then this is the back side. After turning the facing, I went ahead to sew the zipper side. So this is what we have. Now it's time to combine the two of them. I'm going to turn the front side. This is the right side, and I'm going to face it right side to the right side. This is the back side, and this is the wrong side. So right side to the right side. I'll place it like this. So I'm going to place one of this side. I'll place it inside this one. Can you see? Make sure the two lines are aligning together. So I'll just place it like this and turn.
You're chilling in the rain. You're some kind of butterfly.
So if you want to sew this, just take your time. I will sew like this. I will do the same thing over here. I'll just place one of these inside and turn. The same way you sew your shoulders together. Do you understand? So after I'm done joining the two shoulders, then I'm going to sew the two sides with 1.5 inches sewing allowance. So for the pocket, this is the pocket. We are going to separate it. So I'm going to sew all the way to this point. So what I'll simply do is to leave 1.5 inches so that this 1.5 inches will match up with the sewing allowance on the gown. So I'm going to sew like this all the way and stop at the same 1.5 inches. So to fix the pocket, I've done so many tutorials on how to fix pocket. So in case you don't understand what I'm doing here, just go ahead and search for it in the channel. Okay, so what I'll simply do to fix my pocket is to measure from the armhole. I'll measure 9 inches. Okay, 9 inches, and I'll fix my pocket there. Can you see? Then after that, when I'm through with fixing the pocket, I'll continue sewing from here down. So I'll go and do that, and I'll be right back. So guys, after joining the shoulders, this is what I have, and this is the collar, the built up collar, looking so nice. And yeah, this is the pocket after attaching it. Can you see? And this is the other pocket. So I'm going to turn to the right side. So guys, after turning to the right side, this is what I have. And this is the pocket. And yeah, so I'm going to cut the sleeve and attach on the armhole. Okay, so this is it for the built up collar A-line long gown. So you can see the built up collar looking so nice. So I would advise you to make use of a collar stay so that the collar will stand very well. Okay, if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and try it out. Let me know your results in the comment section. So if you have any questions, still leave it over there. I'll attend to it. I'm going to insert my zipper at the back side and finish up the gown. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I'll see you again. For now, it is bye bye.